to the Marketing Pulpit Show, and I am Robert Gatewood, your host. We are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good of marketing gospel. We're not saving souls, we're saving businesses, saving jobs, saving our community. Now, if I happen to save a soul along the way, don't hold that against me. We'll just call that icing on the cake. Now, the mission at Marketing Pulpit Show is to build strong businesses in our community so that we can put our people to work. And we do that with business development, job creation, and service. So if you ever find yourself in a business crossroads and not sure which way to turn, and welcome to the show. I'm Robert Gatewood, and you can find out more about me by going to gatewoodmarketing.com, or you can just Google me. Just go to Google and type in Robert Gatewood. You see I have my hand in more pies than Miss Smith. You can also go to the Marketing Pulpit website, and you can see the show live right on the homepage. See my big head sitting up there talking all kind of trash. You can also go to LinkedIn. You can go to Facebook. You can go to Twitter. And you can go to LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We're all over the place. Welcome again to another show. I'm Robert Gatewood. I'm a business developer by trade. I help companies get into the business space. If you are a business owner, or if you're thinking about getting into business, this is the place to be. Our mission, our raison d'etre, our reason for being is to help you succeed in business. That's a tall order, but I'm up to the task because I've been doing this for 30 years through my company, Gatewood Marketing and Web. I'm also teaching this over at the college, where I'm an adjunct professor, teaching marketing, networking, social media strategies. I've written a couple of books, Smarter Than the Boss and Played in Full, and I'm also in the government space with the SBA as a subcontractor. So this is a place to come if you're trying to succeed in business. And this show is brought to you every week to help you towards that end. And we bring a topic of interest. Today we're going to talk about business authors. Everybody has a book inside of them, whether they realize it or not. I'm saying I'm going to give you some reasons today why you should get that book out. Get it out there. And some of the reasons you should do a book, why you should become an author, might surprise you. But I'm not just going to throw it out there and let you leave you out there flapping in the wind. I'm also going to give you some ways and tips and strategies on how to promote that book. And some of the techniques that have been successful with many of the authors that we represent. People like Joe Madison and Neely Fuller and Elafari Hutchinson. Some of these people are household names, and we've been working with them over the years. They've been very successful, and we won't take all the credit, but hey, this is what we do. So you want to tune in later in the show on how to get that book out of you. Should you write a book, and how you should support it once you take that leap. And of course, I'm an author myself twice, as I mentioned with my two books, Played in Full and Smarter Than the Boss. Now, if you have a book, a good place to start is go over to the Marketing Pulpit Business Directory. And if you're online, you'll see the URL, the web address floating at the bottom of the screen. And we have a section specifically for authors. So go to mpi.bz and register your business, whether you are an author or not. This business directory is on fire. I can't believe the exposure and the number of people have come in and joined this directory since it has been launched. And we've only been out here like maybe a couple of months. Like today, I'm looking at Chemtech Corporation out of Barton, Vermont. I'm looking at Gumbo Medical out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm looking at Glacier Chiropractic out of Seattle, Washington. I'm looking at Flatliners Pest Control out of Henderson, Nevada. I'm looking at Evolve Prosthetics and Orthotics out of Las Vegas. And I'm also looking at Dream Exotics, also out of Las Vegas. So Las Vegas is in the house today. Also, we have some upcoming events this week. Matter of fact, tomorrow, I'll be down in North Carolina with Holla. It's a nonprofit out of Marvin, North Carolina, and they're having their annual 5K race. And they are helping children read and get their test scores up. That's been their mission, been very successful. CEO Leon Gatewood will be there representing, and many of the followers will be there doing that race. Starts at 9 o'clock in the morning And that evening, they're doing an evening with the authors. They have 18 authors that have registered for this event. 12 will be in person, and 6 of them will be virtual. I'll be there emceeing, keeping the program moving along. It's a great event, and if you're going to be in the North Carolina area, either virtually or in person, that's a good way to pass your evening tomorrow from 5 o'clock to about sometime around 8 o'clock. It's going to be a very exciting event. Also, the BLE Executive Suites have their first Friday coming up on, it's going to be June 2nd. So if you're a business owner and you're trying to grow your business, what you want to do is go to blesuites.com, click on the events, or you can go to Marketing Pulpit, click on that banner about First Friday Networking. And you want to come on out, and we had a great turnout. I had about 30 people to show up at the last one back in May. Yours truly will be presenting on how to use digital marketing to make your business successful. So I'll be at this event. I'm at all of them. I'm actually partnering with BLE. I usually do the emceeing, but this time I'm going to actually be presenting how to use digital marketing to grow your business. Also, the Dress Room Fashion Show is coming up. We have another fashion show coming up, Elegance, and of course the class of 78 Livingstone College reunion. All those information, all those events are featured on the homepage of mpi.bz. So when you go in and join, get on one of the plans, you can post your events on that platform, and we will honor them and shout them out on the air here at 95.9 FM, Radio 1, and on the Marketing Pulpit platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So we got a lot going on. So thank you again for all of the people who have jumped on board. We also have a product section on that platform. So if you're a business owner, this is one of the best deals in town right now. I'm telling you, get on over to mpi.biz and get your name in that directory. We're going to talk about some of the items in the news. We're going to talk about Google has decided it's going to delete inactive accounts. So they're going to be letting you know the next few days that if you have an account that you haven't used in a while, they're getting rid of it. And I don't blame them, because sometimes people go in there and set up these accounts. I have that issue also on our different platforms. People go in there and set up an account, and they never go back to the darn thing. I don't know what happened. They just forget about it or what. Well, Google said you're not going to waste our time, so they're going to be taking this step. If you haven't been active in the last 2 years, they're going to get rid of you. And we're going to see similar things coming from some of the other platforms. I think Twitter is going to be following suit. TikTok is having its woes continue. If you're thinking about making TikTok your main source of growing your business, you might want to at least have some other channels going on as well, because TikTok has been banned in the state, and they're claiming because of some security shortcomings, things like that. Greg Elefante signed the bill, and it would take place on January 1st, 2024. So TikTok is still being the whipping boy for a lot of the legislators. I know they were recently also banned in the country of Italy. Some people are saying that the platform isn't safe, and they claim it has to do with Chinese spying and who knows what else. So you're going to start seeing this volatility in social media. And as I always tell people, when you're out here trying to promote your business, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You want to have a broad, diverse portfolio of marketing promotion vehicles. And this move on TikTok by the state of Montana puts a little more, personifies that actual advice. Amazon is going to be starting using artificial intelligence in its search. Now, I'll tell you what that's going to do. Searching on the internet is going to be changed forever. In the old days, you go and you type in a keyword, you say, look, let's say I'm looking for a hair product. I type in hair product, and it will send you to some websites. Well, with the new artificial intelligence, you type in, look, I have dandruff, what should I do? And depending on how you prompt it, it will not just send you to a website, it's going to send you the actual solutions. And this is going to be also starting to affect how people shop through platforms like Amazon and Google. They're not just going to send you to a website. They're going to bring that information onto your screen, as you're seeing right now with chatbots and some of the what is that name, Chat GPT, and some of these other artificial intelligence platforms. So don't expect the searching to be the same going forward. This thing is evolving by the minute. Another piece of news is that the lawmakers are trying to save AM radio. Now, AM radio is on the ropes, not because of AM radio, but because of these new electronic vehicles. Some of them are not including the AM platform as part of the options when you go to turn on your radio. Right now, you see AM, you see FM, you see Sirius XM, and so forth. Well, some of these electronic vehicles have been putting cars out on the marketplace that do not include AM. So what the lawmakers have, what they're trying to do is to look, they're going to start requiring these platforms like Tesla and so forth to include the AM platform, because it requires, they said it's essential for public safety, travel, and other types of benefits that AM platform brings to your vehicle. So we'll be watching that going forward to see if AM will survive this new wave of electronic vehicles and technology in general. Down in Florida, Governor DeSantis is finding out what that old saying, you found the F out. He effed around and found out he's messing with Mickey Mouse and Disney. And Disney has canceled a $1 billion plan to expand its Orlando, Florida operation in an escalating war with Ron DeSantis. Now, Ron DeSantis got in trouble. Well, actually, Disney got in trouble with Ron DeSantis, but they came out against him and his anti-LGBTQ legislation that he's been pushing. But Disney, of course, is very into the diversity, inclusion, and equity, and Ron DeSantis is the polar opposite. He does not want anything to do with diversity. So Disney said, look, they one up Ron DeSantis, and they said, we're going to send this $1 billion somewhere else. All right, the final news story is about I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to come back after the break and finish up the news. You're listening to the Marketing Pulpit Radio Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. We're broadcasting live from Radio 195.9 FM. We're also on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter. And we're on LinkedIn. And you can also go to marketingpulpit.com to watch the show live on your regular computer and cell phone. So hang on a second. This is the Marketing Pulpit. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in a moment. Our mission is to build strong businesses in our community and put our people to work. Summer is here. We can't keep. Let's talk about war in the workplace. I talk about stakeholder relationships quite often. Stakeholders is anybody who has a stake in the success or failure of your business. All right, we're back. We're back. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show. I am Robert Gatewood, your host, and we are here every Friday, bringing you the good marketing gospel. That's right. We're not saving souls, we're saving businesses, saving jobs. Now, we're going to talk about in a moment, we're going to talk about whether you should not write a book, whether you should write a book or not. Many people have talked to me about that, matter of fact, this week. And I'm actually going down to an event down in North Carolina where tomorrow we're going to be having an authors forum. And it's going to be an evening with the authors. Yours truly will be emceeing. You can actually get it by going to holla.ws. And we're actually going to broadcast it on the Marketing Pulpit Show live. So you'll be entertained tomorrow. And if you're wondering about some of what people are writing about and talking about, and give yourself let you see some authors firsthand, that might help you decide whether or not you're going to become an author, whether you're going to join their ranks or not. So just tune in. You'll get a notice on Marketing Pulpit about when it's going to happen, but it's actually going to be from 5 o'clock to about 8 o'clock tomorrow. So come on and join us. We're going to talk about the war in the workplace continues. People still acting the food after this lockdown. Since President Biden eliminated, or terminated, he's pretty much said COVID was over. You think some of the craziness would have ended, but it has not. In Texas, a 12-year-old is accused of killing a fast food employee with an AR-15 rifle. Now, that kid was with another man, and they got into an argument with one of the staff at this Sonic restaurant. And the kid, and this story is really, the person was out back urinating or something, and the employee went out to confront the person. They got into an argument. The kid in the car grabbed the AR-15 and shot the employee. But it seems to be always Texas and Florida, the places with the most liberal, crazy gun laws. These kind of things are just proliferating. Ron DeSantis and Gregory Abbott, they're making it easier by the day for people to have guns, people that shouldn't have guns, making the guns more powerful, and they're fighting any type of legislation that might bring forth some sensible gun laws. This is what happens when you have unfettered access to guns. Kids get them, people are shooting each other by accident. Domestic violence is more deadly because people have these available, easy access to guns. So it seems like as we get more and more of these stories, we might see some type of change of attitude. That's my hope, but I wouldn't bet the farm on it. And McDonald's is in trouble for a 4-year-old suffered second-degree burns from a hot chicken McNugget, leaving her disfigured and scarred, as they said. Well, reminds me of that story about the coffee a few years ago where they spilled some coffee and she sued McDonald's. This is a little different. I'm trying to think if I took my kid to McDonald's, I'm not sure I would have handed the kid a piping hot McNugget. Even myself, when I get food from a restaurant, I blow on it, I feel it, and if you give it to a child, I don't know about this one. I feel sorry for the kid who was burned, but I think parents have to take some responsibility for what they hand their kid. And you don't hand a kid a extremely hot chicken McNugget without testing it first. Because what'll happen now, you go to the restaurant, everybody's gonna be scared to give you hot food. You have to take your food home and warm it. So I don't know about this one. Anyway, thanks again. That's the news stories for today. Let's jump into our topic for today. Many people out here you see authors seem like on every corner now. And you might ask yourself, should I be in that number? Should I have a book under my belt as well? I personally have 2, and it's been very rewarding, but not for the reasons you might think. Okay. Now, what are some of the advantages of writing a book in the first place? Most people think about, well, I'm going to get rich, I'm going to write this book, and I'll be out here on the islands and on a yacht somewhere, bringing in all this passive income. Well, you can make passive income, but if that's your only goal, I'm going to tell you right now, you might slow your roll because there's so many books out here. It's going to be a long trog to get to that point where you're going to be making money selling that book. So let's look at some of the other reasons you might write a book. First is personal branding. Personal branding, writing a book can help you build a loyal following. It can connect you with people. It can put you in a different status. You can put author behind your name. So personal branding is a good reason to get a book. We have a caller on the line. Hang on a second. Let me get Miss Richardson on the phone here. Miss Richardson, welcome to the Marketing Pulpit Show.
Yes, dear. How are you this morning?
I'm doing wonderful, thank you. What's on your mind?
Yes, Well, you were speaking about McDonald's. I'm sitting here having my coffee, reading the magazine here. You know, I'm having a problem with going into McDonald's. My daughter and I, we go, downtown Silver Spring down there. I take my husband down to the Spine Center down there, Spine and Pain Center. Now, adjacent to that building, there's a McDonald's. And every time we go in there for coffee, you have these black people in there arguing with each other all the time. What is causing our race to be so violent toward each other?
That's a good point. I was looking at some video the other day of a Walmart, a convenience store. I mean, there's people pulling their hair out. There's people punching people. I mean, one guy was knocked out cold. What is causing this self-hate? I was trying to blame it on the pandemic, Ms. Richardson, but I think it's a little deeper than that. I think the pandemic may have exacerbated it, but there is a problem right now in our society where people are taking out their frustration on people that look like them, and it's getting worse instead of better.
I'm telling you, yes, because and I also agree with you about the chicken McNugget thing. You know, these parents today, I don't know, they're not monitoring their children. They're busy talking about having parties and getting down and simple things. And every time we go into that McDonald's, not only that one, but even in Virginia, you go to some of them and the blacks are arguing with each other. And the Spanish people just look at them and laugh. I mean, we are still the laughing stock of the nation. And I don't see why we don't get more intellectual. What has happened to our race? Even if the people have got intelligence, they're out here doing this a loose mess. They're dressing the holes in their bridges and their butts and stuff. What is going on with the clothing, Mr. Gilbert? And I'll hang up and listen to what your response is. And have a beautiful day, dear. I love you.
Thank you. Love you too, Ms. Richardson. Thank you for tuning in. Ms. Richardson, she's a regular listener, and thank you for her feedback. She's wondering what's going on. I'm gonna save my comments on that topic. We'll bring it back up next week so I can get to my topic on being an author. But thank you again, Ms. Richardson. Now, some of the advantages of writing a book is your personal brand. Another one is a low threshold way for people to get to know you. Sometimes you're selling a product or service, and like me, they might say, "Look, this guy's going to charge me a few $1,000 for his marketing services, but maybe I can get a taste of him for something less." A book can serve that need. Establishing authority in your field. Once you write a book, people look at you as an expert, so a book handles that. If you have a personal story, a book is a great way to get that personal story out there. Some people have amazing stories. Some of you, under the sound of my voice, have some amazing stories. A book is a good way to get it out there. We talked about earlier how it can become a source of income, great passive income, and it helps you leave a legacy behind when you're gone. Let's talk about quickly some ways to promote that book. I want you to start out by getting yourself a website or some type of web presence. That's going to help you be located on Google, information about the book. You can put passages of the book in there. You can do the e-commerce. Get yourself a website. Okay. Also, this has been one of my favorites. Enlist resellers, some type of affiliate program, and let others who believe in you and share your audience, let them get on there and resell those books for you. We have one of our authors, very successful. He has resold. That's really the main source of selling those books is through resellers. Get out here and get on the platforms. Go do the lecture circuit. Go through get on people's radio shows, on their podcast, and talk about your book. So get those interviews going. Also, you might consider creating a podcast or a show of your own and using that book as the title. Great way to promote that book. Go to these literary events like we're doing this weekend at Holla. Sign up. Sometimes there may be an entry fee. Sometimes they're free. But get into these events, set up your table, have people come by your table and find out more about your book. A great way to do that. Also, social media. If you're not on social media, like I say, I don't push people on the social media, but there is 8 billion people in the world. And if you're not on social media, you may be missing out on a very large audience. So you want to build yourself a platform and use the same marketing rules of social media. Get on the platforms where your audience is. If you're a young person trying to reach you don't have to be young, but if you're trying to reach a young audience, then you can get on the TikTok. If you're trying to get on the young audience, you might get on IG. Trying to reach an older audience, you might get on Facebook, LinkedIn, but get on social media, but make sure you're targeting it to the audience you're going after. Also, Amazon. If you want to get on Amazon platform, Amazon, they're going to take a good chunk of your money, maybe somewhere 50% plus, but they have a very large audience. So get your book on Amazon. They also offer you some of those digital platforms like the ebooks and so forth. Getting on Amazon is another good way to promote your book. Also, book reviews. And last but not least, also one more thing, use your book as a lead magnet. Give it out almost like an expensive business card. Great way to promote your book. Also, paid advertising. And by all means, get on the Marketing Pulpit Business Directory. We're promoting that every week on this show. And get your book into that directory, and we will promote you. We have some callers hanging on. We're not going to be able to get to you today, but I'd like for you to call back and put your question right here on the Marketing Pulpit. Very exciting show today. This is the Marketing Pulpit. We'll be back next week. And if you want to be successful, you have to do these 3 things. Do the right thing, do it at the right time, and you have to do it right. Enough talk. Let's get to work. Now, when you're buying media, there are some costs, and you're going to pay for that media. I'm going to give you 3 acronyms that you should be aware of at all times. The first one is cost per acquisition, CPA. In other words, if I spend this money, either I'm going to pay you based on a sale or something else. Now, cost per acquisition is also another way to evaluate media. That means how much did it actually cost you after the fact. Another is CPM. CPM stands for cost per mille. That's M-I-L-L-E, which is a Latin term for 1,000. So cost per mille means the cost for 1,000 impressions. Another is called CPC, which is cost per click, which is how much you're going to pay if somebody clicks on that ad. And so if you're doing like Google AdWords or something like that, you're usually doing a CPC deal. So you need to understand the terminology. As the French say, CC l'émission du radio marketing pulpit et Jason Robert Gatewood, votre host, a bon évangile marketing. I'm in the studio today with Wena. Hey, Wena, how you doing over there?
Whoop, whoop. What's up, DMV? What's up, everybody?
All right, we have our special guest in the studio today, Dana Chanel.
Hello, how are you?
How you doing today, Dana? You've been a busy young lady today.
Yes, I have, but I mean, listen. We're all going to die one day. So today's not that day, so I'm going to do as much as I can.
Get all morbid on her, brother. Now I'm gonna be walking across the street looking both ways.
I know,
and
right?
Watching what I eat and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, tell us quickly. Now, that's why I like to tell these stories. Tell us how you heard about the Marketing Pulpit radio show. I know your producer had a little hand into it, but...
Yeah, my publicist.
Okay.
And I thought, when I looked at the show, I thought it was such a clever name. I thought that was so awesome. And you guys have great radio voices, so I'm excited to be here.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Well, tell us about, give us a quick overview of what Dana is about.
Dude, I'm about Christian entrepreneurship. I think I've been talking and saying lately, like, you know, I don't believe everyone's called to entrepreneurship, because to me, entrepreneurship lays side by side with leadership, and not everyone's a leader, and that's 100% okay. But to me, entrepreneurship is something that we all have to be prepared to do, because the way that technology's moving, bro, everyone's losing their jobs. We still have kids going to college for degrees that wouldn't even get them paid. You know what I mean? And so for me, I just want to make sure that we don't just I just want to make sure that we're not just praying for over our food at the table, but we're teaching each other how to put food on the table. You feel me? And so for me, I'm all about family economics, making sure that the family unit is first, and making sure you're the CEO of your family before you can be the CEO of a business.
Ooh, do it,